In this video, we're going to cover how to use a real-world height map to make a landscape in the Unreal Engine. So to get started, we are going to make a new level, and you can really pick open world or basic. I'm going to start with basic. We'll have a little bit less going on. I'll hit create. I don't need to save this. Perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to use the landscape mode not to create a new landscape based on size and based on sections and components. I want to import from a file. Now the file I want is actually going to be a PNG file. In order to get one of those, what you can use is a height map generator like the one we use in class. So this one is called heightmap.skydark.pl. And the way I can use this is I can scroll around. I could find some sort of location that I think I want to build a world off of. I kind of like this area because there's lots of different national parks over here. Regardless, I can kind of go around, and we'll go over to like Zion National Park over here. And if I click, it starts to lay out a region that would be used as the height map for this project. Now, what I can do to this is I could play around with like the size of the map right here if I wanted to. So I'll make it a much larger one. This would be a huge map. I could play around with the base level, the height scale, which we'll look at in a minute, and so on and so forth. So that's all from this I button right here. Now, the real button that we need to kind of care about will be, actually I'm going to try to get as much of this river as possible, is the second option right here, the download PNG height map. We don't use the raw file. We don't use the map image file. We don't need the download zip with PNG. We don't need any of these other ones. What we need is this PNG height map right here. If I click that, it will download a PNG of the height map. And when I go to open it, we are greeted with a kind of blank white screen. If I bring this into Unreal, I'm going to get a whole bunch of nothing. Now this white is showing a high height. What I'm trying to have this look like is a combination of dark values and light values that give kind of a mix of features within my world. It actually creates a height map. So if I close this out, I go back to my info, and I take this height scale, and I put it down to something like, we'll go like 20%. And then I'll go back to here, I'll download my PNG, I'll open it up, and now I have much more variety. I have a mix of really dark, some medium, some bright going up. You know, I could play around with this, and I could try like 30 maybe right now and see if that gives me even more variety within here. Pretty good within there. I think there's really some good things happening with either of those two height maps. I'm going to stick with the 31 for right now. So I can go back to Unreal. I can hit my three dots right here, and I can find that height map and import in the file. I did that kind of fast right there. So I'm in my downloads, and I'm selecting the height map that I downloaded. So I'm going to double click it, and that brings it in. Unreal does a pretty nice job of trying to give a little bit of a preview of what it's going to look like. I don't really think this actually helps all that much besides showing you that it's working. So it will fill out the size of the height map based on the size of the image that you selected. Honestly, there's really not much left to do here besides hit import. When you hit import, it will generate a height map based on that real world's location. You can see I still have that kind of platform down there, so I'll delete that. This is awesome. So I can use this as it is, or what I could do is I could actually use that landscape tool, and I could actually kind of like sculpt and build off of this. So I could use this as like a starting point to a map, or I could just use it completely as it is. What I like to do with this as well is I like to go in here, and I like to place some of my cubes in here. So I have one cube. I'm going to zoom in on it. Actually, kind of scoot over to the side of the cliff over here. Perfect. Kind of keep scooting it. I'm going to copy and paste it, make another one. Copy and paste it, make another one. And generally what we have done is we've used kind of like this 3 cube rule as a good kind of placeholder to how big a world is. And this height map is huge. If I start to zoom out, I really start to get a little bit of a sense of scale and size of how big this world is that was generated. all from simply clicking and downloading that PNG and bringing it into the Unreal Engine. It really is awesome. Cool. And that's how we can generate some height maps in the Unreal Engine using real-world locations.